I've talked about fantasy romances before. Today I want to talk about a sci-fi rom-com that I watched a few years ago. I loved it and I hate that it's so hard to find. It's called Timer. It's basically about a world where people can get timers inserted into their wrists after they're 14 years old, and it will count down to the day you meet your soulmate. Our main protagonist has a blank timer, which means her soulmate has yet to have a timer inserted into his wrist. Her best friend and stepsister has a timer that says she won't meet her soulmate until she's 43 years old. They are currently 29, and the movie starts weeks before their 30th birthday because they were born on the exact same day. When I was trying to find this movie on the internet, I kept coming across comments that said they were disappointed in the ending. But I personally loved it for the message it was putting out there for desperate singles. So basically, the main protagonist kept dating men without timers to see if they were her soulmate. They would get the timer and realize she was not the one. She was so focused on finding this one timerless guy that she was not enjoying her life at all.
I'm not like you. I've slept with a total of 4 men in my life, and each time I've had to face the very real possibility of losing them.
It was all she could think about and focus on. Her sister took a different tack. Since it would be years until she found her soulmate, she decided to have endless one-night stands with men who already had a timer. They were basically off the table romantic-wise, and she could focus on having a good time without the pressure. But she never stayed with those guys for more than one night. The main protagonist and the sister have a little brother who just turned 14. They all witness his timer getting inserted, and it indicates that he will meet his soulmate in 3 days. The main protagonist, Una, is thoroughly upset at this and decides to try things her sister's way and have a one-night stand with a young guy with a timer. Of course, it goes beyond a one-night stand and develops into a relationship that she is happy with until she discovers his timer is fake.
Guys, no, it's fake. Look, see, it just sticks on.
It's fake? You mean you use it to pick up women, kind of like a fake wedding ring? It's actually kind of clever. Sorry.
Or maybe if you figure out that me not having a timer is a good thing, call me.
Now she has to decide if she wants to have an actual relationship with a man with no timer. Somewhere along the way, she goes to talk to her absentee father, and she meets his girlfriend who had her timer removed because she wasn't her father's soulmate, but she loved him anyway. So Una and her sister Steph decide to get their timers removed. It's not until after Steph gets her timer removed that they tell them that this is irreversible and that they will never be able to get another timer.
Where was that warning when I went?
Then, just when Una is about to get hers removed, her timer finally goes off and reveals that she's going to get to meet her soulmate the very next day. So the comments I kept coming across on the internet show that those people were disappointed that the ending indicated that she would get with her soulmate rather than saying down with the system and stick with her timerless man. But I guess your view of the ending depends on whether or not you believe in fate and how much fate should determine your actions. Throughout the movie, several ideas were floated. Una and her sister Steph lived their lives the way they did because they believed you could only fall in love with your soulmate. But Una and Steph were stepsisters. Steph's mother died and Una's parents divorced. Then Una's mother and Steph's father found each other through the timer. So this brings up the point of, if you can only fall in love once, were Steph and Una a mistake? Una actually asks her mother this, but her mother tries to brush her off. But Una responded, "You can't say that Steph and I were meant to be sisters, yet you were never meant to be with my father," in the same breath. It was very contradictory. I think the answer lies somewhere in the middle. Yes, it's possible that there is someone out there that you are meant to be with. But I don't think your life should be on hold until you find them. I think it's perfectly okay to meet other people and fall in love and have relationships before you meet the one, because it can only attribute to your growth as a human being and can only improve your relationship with the right person. Even though Una was on a mission to find her soulmate, I don't think she was ready to meet him. She needed to live life and experience love without the pressure in order to grow as a person. Then there is the flip side of the coin. Why did her soulmate wait so long to get a timer? Because he wasn't ready. He was a widower who was deeply in love with his wife despite the fact they did not have a timer.
And she was your one?
Of course.
Even without a timer, you knew?
Yeah.
Him getting a timer and finding a soulmate did not change that. Ironically, he did not get a timer until he had started spending time with Steph and decided he was ready to meet someone. So he got a timer and came to Steph and Una's surprise birthday party for Steph. But when Una got there, their eyes met and bam, fireworks. It is important to note that their timers did not go off until after they had held each other's gaze for like a minute. After Steph had her timer removed and Una was on the verge of removing hers, she asked Steph, "Do you think these timers are self-fulfilling prophecies, or do they really work?" And for me, that minute where Una and her soulmate looked into each other's eyes answered the question. It wasn't love at first sight, but it was definitely major interest. It was a beginning. In this case, an unfortunate interference, but a beginning still. One can say that they both had to grow in order to meet each other. And the relationships they had previously opened them up to meeting their soulmate. So yeah, I love timer because it had reinforced this idea I had heard about, ironically from church, that there are people out there waiting for you to step into your destiny. Your decisions don't affect just you. There is someone out there waiting for you to do the thing that you're afraid of. So you following your fate can open doors for other people. Of course, they weren't talking about romantic situations, but it definitely fit what happened between Una and her soulmate. She waited for years until her soulmate finally took a chance. The movie ends with another revelation. We know earlier in the film that Steph tried to set up Una with her soulmate because he was yet another guy without a timer, and Steph avoided them like the plague. But Una did not come because she was having too much fun with her guy. Steph began to spend time with him instead. So that was one instance where Una could have met her soulmate. The other is, apparently, they have been running on the same track, but at different times. They didn't discover this until after their timers went off, and the following day, Una slept in. So there were multiple times where they could have crossed paths, but didn't until they were ready to meet. At one point in the movie, Una even has a dream about the whole "a watched pot doesn't boil." And in her watched pot was an egg. Because of course her biological time clock was ticking.
I'm him.
But Una's pot didn't boil until she took her eyes off of it and stopped trying to hurry fate along. So if you believe in fate, Timer is a great movie for you. But if you're the type of person to thumb their nose at destiny, then you're not gonna like it. So do you believe in fate? Tell me if you've seen Timer in the comments below. Also tell me if there is a topic you would like to see me talk about. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell notification to know the next time I upload or go live.